Um, all right, so welcome everybody. My name is Richard Okiasi. We're having a live session with Onu Chuka and an awardee of PTDF Scholarship. So Chuka is going to be sharing with us his story and telling us about the PTDF Scholarship and how everybody can put their right foot to secure this scholarship for themselves. More of the details I won't give you, but then he's here to share. He's going to share extensively. I've seen the points he wants to share in this class. So I'm just going to guide him in some areas. If there are some things I feel won't be clear, because I know most of you will be watching after now, I can show it. And if maybe at the end of this video, you still have questions to ask that are not covered there, you can always drop it in the comment section. He's frequent with our pages, and I can draw his attention to them, and then he answers to the best of his knowledge. He's not telling you to do everything he's doing verbatim, but then he's just giving you how he has done his own, give you his own story, which you can learn through. So without wasting much time, please, Mr. Chuka, take the floor.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Richard, for this opportunity, to let the young minds know more about PTDF Scholarship. I actually applied 2 times. Yeah, the first time I lost it, and so I'll be sharing my slide now so that we'll have a rundown and know what it takes, how it takes to secure PTDF Scholarship.
All right, I've done that. I've done that now. All right.
Okay.
So.
Okay, thank you so much. So we'll be trying to learn how to secure PTDF Scholarship. We're going to try to learn how to secure PTDF Scholarship. Next slide. So first of all, we'll have a brief introduction about PTDF. Most of us don't really know what PTDF is. PTDF is Petroleum Technology Development Fund. Petroleum Technology Development Fund. You can visit ptdf.gov.ng to read more about its mandate, vision, and mission. So PTDF is a federal government agency that is responsible for developing local human capacity. So developing human capacity is one of their mandates. So they try to develop human capacity and oil technology to meet the needs, particularly for Nigerian oil and gas industry. To ensure a steadfast implication of this mandate, PTDF awards scholarship to Nigerian citizens for overseas and in-country MSc and Ph.D. scholarships. For overseas scholarship, they call it OSS. And for local scholarship, they call it LSS. OSS means Overseas Scholarship Scheme. LSS means Local Scholarship Scheme. So to apply for this scholarship, they always advertise yearly, particularly say November to January. That's when the applications usually come out for OSS. But for LSS, it comes in during the year, say May, June. Like we could see that the LSS just recently closed last month. To apply for PTDF scholarship, you have to visit www.scholarship.ptdf.gov.ng. From there, you can navigate to see the guidelines on how to apply for the scholarships. You can see the list of PTDF approved schools. Now for the OSS scholarship, PTDF is in partnership with Germany, France, China, and Malaysia. They have great affiliation with United Kingdom schools. And recently they've added 2 US schools, I think University of, and Canadian school here, University of Ottawa, and they added Pennsylvania State University for US. Next slide, sir. In PTDF selection process, there are several things they look into to see from an applicant. PTDF scholarships is a very competitive scholarship in Nigeria, very, very competitive. And you must show evidences of what your quality of degrees. Okay, sorry about that. You must show evidences of your quality of degrees, academic transcripts, professional qualifications, and relevant publications. You also be able to show that I belong to a membership body, professional membership body. For example, if you study petroleum engineering, you should be able to belong to Society of Petroleum Engineers, SPE. If you a graduate of chemical engineering, they have Chemical Engineering Association. If you're a graduate of electrical electronics engineering, we know of IEE. Then for a PhD applicant, you must have a valid study plan, a research proposal before applying. Applicants are required to make a case of their scholarship by submitting a statement of purpose, maximum 500 words, stating the reason they want to undertake the study, the relevance of the proposed study to the oil and gas industry, and its expected impact on national development. So we should take note of this. One, when writing your statement of purpose, it must capture these 3 things: the reason why you want to undertake the scholarship, the reason why you want to undertake this scholarship is relevant in the oil and gas industry, and also its impact in national development. So if your SOP misses these 3 things, believe you me, you won't get this scholarship. I want to use this opportunity to thank Fast Hire. When I was applying, Fast Hire, they read my SOP, proofread it, made corrections, guided me through the process of writing my SOP. So I commend Fast Hire anywhere. Next slide. There are criteria and requirements for this scholarship. For an MSc applicant, you must have a minimum of 2.2 with relevance industry experience. So if you are a first-class graduate, I highly recommend that you apply for this scholarship because you stand a good chance to be called up to the interview selection. You must have completed your NYSC, must be computer literate, must possess 5 credits in your O-level. For PhD applicants, same thing applies, but the only difference is that you will have to submit a research proposal relevant to the oil and gas industry of not more than 5 pages to include your topic, your introduction, objective, methodology, mode of data collection. You have to tell them how you intend to collect your data, and also how relevant is your research to the oil and gas industry. You must also possess a master's degree project. Next slide. The required documents, it is everywhere. Your first degree, I've mentioned, your NYSC, your WAEC, and you have to come with a PIN in case if you don't have your original WAEC results, because during the interview, they would have to collect your PIN and check your results if you came with a printout, sorry. Your recent passport photograph, basically with a white background, your local government identification letter, your master's degree certificate for PhD applicants, and evidence of membership to a professional body. Next slide. MSc PTDF Scholarship Proposal Assessment Template. When you have a good knowledge of this template, it helps you to put your SOP and personal statement in a very unique order in which you'd have to pass the criteria. For an MSc PTDF Scholarship Proposal Assessment Template, they have to look at your motivation. What is this motivation? How did you develop your research interest and why it is important? They have marks allocated to each of these questions. And to answer this question, you should state how you came about your current research area and why you have decided to pursue this particular area. It could be passion, or it could be because it aligns with a past research project, or maybe because of the bearing it has with your future professional goals. So you'll be able to tell them why you want to develop on this. I want to study reservoir engineering. Why? I want to study electrical engineering. Why? The second question there under motivation, why have you decided to do a master's degree? This question, most people can't even answer it. Okay, why have I decided to do a master's degree? Not just because you want to see the opportunity to leave the country. Unemployment or an opportunity to just travel out is not the answer to this question. Explain how your quest for more knowledge and how your bachelor's degree was not enough to quell your burning desire for more knowledge. Also, you might be asked why you can't gain such knowledge in Nigeria. Explain why you're choosing schools abroad would be more suited for your chosen research area. Are we following?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can hear you. We're following.
Okay. So then this is why do you want to go into your choosing field? So there is no right answer to this question. So it's basically based on you. What is driving you? Why do you want to go into this field? I can say, oh, I want to go into petroleum engineering because I want to affect the oil industry. I want to solve environmental problems. Yes. Why are you going to renewable energy? Why? It should align with your goals. So the second part of the template, assessing template, is you have to know your aspiration. What do you plan to gain from your current research goals and your career goals? What do you intend to gain? To answer this question is very unique to everybody. So whatever you come up with, I advise applicants to go through PTDF mandate, vision, and mission. It helps you align your answer. I think that basically helped me. What do you hope to do immediately after you complete your master's degree? Please do not make the mistake of telling the PTDF scholarship panel that you do not intend to return to Nigeria after your postgraduate studies. Because some of us, we don't want to come back. And this, understand the mandate, why they give out this scholarship. The mandate is to develop local human capacity. So anything you're answering should be in line with this. If you say you don't want to come back, that is enough grounds to disqualify you. Remember that PTDF scholarship scheme aimed at developing indigenous human capacity and petroleum technology to meet the needs of the oil and gas industry. So as far as the interview is concerned, there should be no doubt in the mind of PTDF scholarship panel that you intend to come back to Nigeria to impact the oil and gas sector. Are we catching this?
Yeah.
The answer you give to this question depends on your field of study and your area of research. It should be that you aim to proceed to a PhD and eventually take up a career in research and teaching. So do not relate that to them, like telling them that you want to just leave the country is you just lose it. So basically they want to hear, I want to gain this knowledge, come back to Nigeria, impact to the oil and gas industry, or actually take up a career in the university and impact in the educational sector. So the next is perspiration. How have your previous academic research and professional experiences prepared you for a master's degree? So here you're going to be telling them, if you had worked on the oil and gas industry, tell them how your experiences have prepared you. If you have done an academic research, particularly in your undergraduate, you should tell them, I worked on, sorry, I'll be using some of petroleum terms because I'm a petroleum engineer. So you'd have to tell them, maybe I carried out a research in CO2 flooding, and I was able to improve oil recovery. This is why I intend to go for a master's degree. I worked on a gas lift project. This is why I intend to go for a master's degree. What exceptional achievements have you made? So you're able to tell them the achievements you've made. Particularly, I have published my project work. I was able to, defend my project, and I was the best student. You'll be able to tell them what achievements you've made. This is the particular time to sell yourself. In the course of your career and academic experiences, what contributions and impacts have you made? You can see that most of these questions are linked up together. You just have to, I've answered most of it. Let's move to the next slide. So here we're talking about the interview proper. Your comportment matters a lot. Your dressing matters a lot. So you don't come there dressing on jeans, they'll send you out. So you have to dress well, you have to look sharp, you have to look good, you have to, build your confidence before coming into the interview room. Then you'll be able to tell them the applications of your research or your proposed program to the oil and gas industry. A very good knowledge of the subject matter is very, very important. For example, in the first time when I was interviewed, I had panelists that studied petroleum engineering, and I was asked things related to petroleum engineering. So your knowledge of the subject matter is very, very key. So if you say you want to go into power systems engineering, and you don't know things about power, you don't know the rudiments of power, the basics, you are flawed. So you have to look at your publications, reputable journals, the particular places where you have to publish your paper. And there is a mark for this. There is a mark for this. If you don't have a publication, you lose the mark, but you can cover up from other places. So publication is very key. I think the first time I applied, I had no publication, but the second time I had a publication. So your qualification matters a lot. You could see the grade, they have scores for that. First class, 10 marks, second class, upper to 8 marks, second class, lower, 5 marks. And also, I didn't mention here, your O-level results is very, very key. If you score an A, it's 5 marks, B, 4 marks, C, 3 marks, and like that. So you'd have to calculate all your results, 9 subjects, and the maximum mark for the 9 subjects is 45. You'd calculate what you have out of 45 and convert it to 30. So your O-level, the maximum mark for O-level is 30 marks. Very, very key. So you have to also sell yourself by telling them the awards you've acquired. So I would advise you, if you don't even have any award in your bachelor's degree, come with the awards you acquired in your high school, secondary school. I was the best student. They gave you a plaque, come with it. They gave you a certificate, come with it. You'd have to get something here. It's just 2.5 marks. So you don't want to lose it, because 1 mark can actually make you lose the scholarship. Next slide. PhD PTDF Scholarship Proposal Assessment Template. I've actually touched everything. It's also here. Introduction. Appropriateness of your proposal title. Your proposal title must align with PTDF mandate. Your background of study, everything you're going to do here should align with PTDF mandate. Your literature review should align with PTDF mandate. And also you should look at reviewing recent papers, for example, like 10 years back. Not you, maybe you're trying to review something, you're bringing a paper that was written in 1970 something, you know. You should review like 10 years back. Next slide. You should be able to, you know, point out your experimental methods you are going to use to achieve your objectives. You're going to tell us the contributions to knowledge and benefits of your research to Nigeria. You're going to tell them about your expected result. What do you intend to, you know, from this your analysis, your result, what you intend to achieve, and what you intend to contribute to Nigeria as a whole. Next slide. So here, I'll be sharing my experience.
Okay, Mr. Chuka, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you for that introductory section. You've really pointed out some important information and set the tone, right? So now that you want to talk about your experience, which is more like flashing lights to the things you've already talked about, the first thing I want to find out is, how many times have you applied for PTDF?
Twice.
Twice. And you got it by the second time?
Yes.
Okay. Did you, I know they have undergraduate scholarship to support schooling. Did you ever apply for that?
Hello?
I said, I know, can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I said, I know they have undergraduate schooling support, the same scholarship, but for undergraduates. Did you ever apply for PTDF undergraduate scholarship?
Yes, yes, I applied.
Did you get it?
During my undergraduate, I didn't have any scholarship.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's go straight to it. Tell us about your application process, the first and the second. What do you think you did better in the second time that made them pick you?
Okay.
The application process only, so that we can take it step by step. Let's deal on the application processes first.
Okay. Hello?
Yes, I said tell us about your application
Hello?
process.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I'll be taking us through the application process. So during the first time, I got all the necessary documents and I had a good O-level result. I had 3 A's, 6 B's, and 1 C. I had a first class. So for the results, I'm already qualified. And I prepared my SOP, which Fast Hire reviewed for me. So it was top-notch. I applied. Then I didn't have a publication for the first time. I didn't have a publication when I applied. So I had my awards basically from my secondary school. And I was also banking on being the second best student in my department. So I made it available. I'm a member of Society of Petroleum Engineer. So I took that opportunity and I applied. I was shortlisted for the interview. So yeah.
So for the first one, you were shortlisted for the interview. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Before we go straight to that, do you think for O-level results, we know that some people happen to combine results while going into the university, right? Let's say we have the two governing bodies in terms of secondary school examination, which is WAEC and NECO. Then some people, some schools allow them to combine results. Maybe they are defaulting in one place. Do you think people that combine results, they'll have less chances when coming for this PTDF scholarship?
I would say that if you, because most persons have good results and they're not able to justify it. And you have a bad result in your O-level, you came to the university, you had a 2-1, you had a 2-2, you still stand a chance.
Okay. All right. That's one thing I wanted to be clear about. So your first interview process, how was it like?
I was nervous, actually.
I can imagine. Tell us what happened.
So I can remember then it was, my venue was University of Port Harcourt. So I came there and, you know, there are different panels. So the panel I was, you know, assigned to wasn't engineering. So,
okay.
Yeah, it wasn't engineering, and people were complaining the engineering panel has so many questions. So I came to my panel and I had to leverage on what I have. I leveraged on my strength, particularly. So it was a panel of 7 persons. One person is looking at my O-level. One person is looking at my first degree. And that person is asking me questions, introduce myself. I should just, from that as template, I was able to summarize everything there. So with my SOP, and they were like, wow, tell us about your undergraduate project, which I was able to mention, and I was asked some technical questions related to my field of study. So after that, and I now leveraged on what I was doing. I told them, I'm a graduate research assistant in Department of Petroleum Engineering, Federal University of Technology, Owerri. So I want to come back, actually. And they were happy, they were excited. Oh, wow. So we have someone that wants to impact on the younger ones. So I was very excited, and I thought that I got that opportunity then. So eventually, my name was not listed. And I learned my reasons anyway. It was very competitive, and particularly there are so many applicants going for MSc degree in the United Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I got admission with Imperial College London at Heriot-Watt University, United Kingdom. So I couldn't go because of the funding. Then the second time, I noted my mistakes. First, I registered with Nigerian Society of Engineers and became a graduate member. I published one of my papers. So my lapses was already covered. I still used the same SOP that Fast Hire proofread for me, and I used it, and I was still shortlisted the second time. Without changing anything, I used the same SOP. So I really commend what Fast Hire is really doing. They're actually helping Nigerians. Okay.
Okay, so you said your first time, your first application, you noticed that there was much traffic, right, to the UK.
Yes.
There was more traffic. There was more traffic to the UK, and so the competition was high. A lot of people wanted to go to the UK. So your second application, did you change the country? Did you pick a new country?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so at what point do you pick the country you would like to be sent to? Is it at
During the
application
application.
point or at what?
Yes. During the
Okay, when
application
you're
process.
applying.
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay.
But I would also say
What
I also
other
contribute
things?
that people think it's only the United Kingdom. I'm not saying United Kingdom is not good, but from my researches, people that schooled in France and Germany, they had opportunities to even have some industry experience. And secondly, the competition is high for United Kingdom, and you are competing with people from the same state with you. So what PTDF does is that in a state, for example, we have United Kingdom applicants, Germany, France, China, and Malaysia. So they would have to pick the best 3 of United Kingdom applicants and the best 2 of, they call it GFCM, Germany, France, China, Malaysia applicants. So you see, you might be very good and better than someone that chose Germany, and you'll not be selected. I discovered this.
So what was when applying the second time?
I can't hear you.
Apart from the country, you've told us now that you changed the country of focus from your first application. So what other areas did you make adjustment by the time you were applying for the second time?
I published a paper.
Okay.
And I got a membership certificate of
For which of the body?
Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSC.
Oh, okay. You re-registered. I know for me too, I studied engineering. So I know that when we're in school, we do that registration. Did you re-register this time around, or you went through the school?
I registered.
Afresh?
Yes, as a graduate member, not student member.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. How many venues are you aware of the venues they have in Nigeria for PTDF interview?
Yes, Port Harcourt, Ibadan, Abuja, Enugu, I think one in Kaduna, I'm not very sure.
Who picks? Are you the one that picks your interview location?
Yes, during the application process.
Okay. Oh, okay. Still the application. Process. All right. Application process, the paper, he joined the professional body and got a certificate for it, got something to show for it. So yes, I've done this thing before. Yes, I'm a member of this. Where is your proof, right? You've heard him talk about his personal statement a couple of times. So one thing we know from experience working with applicants is that most times you just make a blank statement in your SOP, in your personal statement. They are not interested in all those. They want to see the proof. Even if you can't show them the physical proof, but show track of something. Let's say, for example, you wrote in your SOP that you've gained field experience in researching that would be applicable in your studies. Now, that is just a statement. How do they know? The next thing you could do to make that statement, to validate that statement, is say in a recent experience or in a past experience, I was involved in this research.
Very true, sir.
What do you say?
I said very true. I concur.
Yeah, so don't just stop at saying you know how to do this, you've done it. Show that, okay, give them a story, give them an experience that where you did that thing. And that makes the SOP to be more factual, to be more truthful. Because anybody can claim anything, anybody can claim they are hardworking, anybody can claim they have good research skills, anybody can do anything, they can say anything they like. How would they verify that or validate that these things you're saying you can do, you can really do it? So don't just stop at making the point. Show something to show that you have or you can do the things you say you can do. So because you're not God, that because you say you're hardworking, you're not God. Everybody does not now have to believe you that, oh, he's hardworking. Show them something, right? So that's for his application processes. And you've heard that some people complain about NIN verification for PTDF scholarship. Did you have any issue like that?
I think the first time they didn't use NIN, you come and present it on the interview. But the second time, you'd have to verify yourself, your NIN, through verifying me. Is the process is explicit in their website. It's very, very explicit. Just go to scholarships.ptdf.gov.ng, the scholarship portal. You would see how to apply. You would see how to verify your name. Very straightforward. I didn't have any stress. I paid 500 naira. I don't know if the amount have increased.
Okay. So another thing you talked about was publication in, I've forgotten the word you used, but the interpretation was that you need to ensure that you
Reputable journal.
Reputable. Do you have like a list of reputable journals you can share with us?
I don't have it here, but I'll drop it later. You have people should note they have what we call predatory journals that don't even review your paper to check for plagiarisms, and they just go ahead to publish it just to collect your money. And someone can actually steal your work from there and republish it. So you can publish to, we have reputable journals like Elsevier, Scopus. So we have, there are several journals, but I'll give you the list later.
Okay, so when you provide the list, I'll try as much to attach it to the description section for this video. Okay, so how many journals did you publish? 1, 2, 3?
1.
Did you partner with somebody?
Yes.
A lecturer, a colleague?
Yes, and a student I supervised.
Okay, 3 of you on the project.
Yes.
So can you share with people how to go about publishing journals, right? You know, I found out that after graduation that publishing journal is not as complicated as it seems, right?
Yes. I think particularly what people are afraid of is the financial aspect involved in it. To publish journals.
How are we looking at? How much are we looking at?
Depending on the journal, for high-profile journals, high reputable journals with high impact factor, you should be looking at $150 US, $200 US, $250 US. Like Elsevier, there are some that required $100 to $120 US. So what you should...
What on the affordable range? The affordable range, what are we looking at?
$90 US.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I think I paid of $60.
$60. I checked as a predatory journal, AJER, is $60. There was no way to read your research paper to actually find out for plagiarism.
Oh.
And you discover they have a low impact factor.
Okay.
Most times journals are graded by its impact factor.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. So maybe later when you share the list, I'll drop you with them for
Okay.
people who would be interested. So I was saying you should tell us about just, I don't know, I always feel this impression, even when we had our abroad studies series where we talk about utilizing opportunities in different countries. I always feel this friction with people trying to think of how to start their journal, how to start writing publication. Can you just encourage people or tell them how they can go about writing their what's it called now, publication, so that they see that it's not that difficult or stressful or what have you?
For you to be able to make a research in your undergraduate, you should know writing a publication is not difficult. It's not even as tedious as your undergraduate work, because undergraduate work requires so many voluminous typing. Let me say that the publication requires just like 10 to 5 pages, 5 to 10 pages max. You know, basically for you to display the problems you are solving, the results, and a little introduction. You don't need to, write several pages of literature review like the way we do our undergraduate project, right? So from your undergraduate project, you can actually publish 2 papers. Split the results of what you find, publish 2 papers. For example, let me use something that is, okay, let me use something very easy that everybody can relate with. Okay, I want to make a shirt. I designed a shirt. I can actually publish a work and say, this is how I designed the shirt. And I publish another work, this is how I designed a polo. I've actually gotten 2 publications from one idea just to produce a shirt, something that we can wear on top. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
So it's nothing difficult. If you want to go abroad to study, you must learn how to make research.
Okay.
Basically, the easiest way to travel abroad is studies.
Okay. That sounds okay. So guys, I hope if I might just have to like maybe organize another class where I have people come in and teach people how to go about their publications journey, because I really want people to free up and start putting out some things there, right? Okay.
Yeah, that would be necessary.
So let's see what we can do, because you on your own, you know what it took to get you, to pull you down to have this class with us. So imagine the people I'll have to call to, it will take a whole lot to pull them, and then we all have to like align so that our suitable to each other. If I still see the problem out there, we're here to solve problems for professionals, young professionals. So we'll do that, right? We'll do that. So thank you so much. You've shared a lot with respect to this PTDF scholarship. Does the government pay the money for you, or they just settle your tuition for PTDF scholarship?
They would settle your tuition and also give you stipends.
How much is it spend?
It varies for each country.
Tell us about yours. Let's just.
Basically, because I've not moved out, I don't know exactly, because for Germany, they're partnering with DAD, And for UK, they don't pay, they just go straight, pay your tuitions, and give you, they pay stipends biannually every six months.
Mm.
For France, they partner with Campus France.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Your interview, you said the first time you were nervous, which affected your performance. What was different by the second time?
The second time I came with everything that is required. Was I asked? I wasn't asked a technical question. I was just asked, how am I going to improve the oil and gas industry? Going for a master's degree. And I spent only 3 minutes with the interviewers. And I just told them what I intend to do and how I intend to do it. That was all. They just needed the right answer. And they asked me to leave. They all congratulated me like, oh, you really know what you're doing. So it's for us to know actually what we are doing. Some of us, okay, you are applying for this. Why are you applying for it? If you're able to answer all the whys,
okay,
you scale through.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. So it's just a clear process. You've read it. I don't know if Mr. John, do you have any question for him?
So thank you very much. I said thank you very much for this. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. I would have two questions, just two questions. From all you said, I discovered that the focus was majorly you going out there for research and coming back majorly for teaching.
Do you have any question?
Yes, I have two questions.
Okay, I'm hearing you.
Okay, go ahead with your question.
Okay. So you said they have to, the major focus is to go out there for research and coming out for teaching. So my major question is why must it be teaching? And does PTDF have any vision for technology? Because
yes, I mentioned that not
okay.
just I'm speaking because I am a graduate assistant. So it's not only teaching. The main goal is to impact on the oil and gas industry. Okay, have I answered your question?
Yes. You have asked my question. I have answered my question. But another thing I want to just ask is about a person like myself. What advice can you basically, that's what we find in societies around. Anybody that gets into a career like I am in now is not really interested in anything MSc or research and all that anymore. I was really interested in all this stuff initially. Mr. Richard knew quite well. But then I was pushing through and all that. But then those applications were not coming forth as quick as I wanted to. Eventually, when I would gain admission, I was already here working where I was, and I was not really interested in it anymore. So currently, I'm a software engineer, and reality is that nobody's really. What do you say? Can you hear me?
I didn't get. You said you're currently a what?
A software engineer.
Okay.
And nobody's really interested in having to study anything, even software engineering again. I think I got a contact with a school engineering recently, and they were telling me to apply for their 4 program. I'm a good fit for their program and all that. But then a lot of people are not really interested in stuff like that anymore because, of course,
Sugar, can you hear him?
I can't hear him again, no.
I think his network is disturbing. So what he was trying to say is that he has based on what he's doing now, and then most of the people in this industry, they you hardly find, according to him, that you hardly find people who are interested in going further with academics and all. But still, somewhere inside him, he still has this desire to go further. And really, I think what he's studying in his first degree is different from what he's doing now. So he's asking what advice you would have for him when he wants to apply for PTDF. What do you think? How do you
Okay,
think?
in regards to PTDF, he's a software engineer. That's beautiful. The industry is tending into technology now. So he should find the line, the missing link between technology and the oil and gas industry and leverage on it. Try to find the line between technology. Now, we could see that they're moving into data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence. Find the line, find the missing link, because most of the things we're not going technological in doing stuffs in the oil and gas industry. So we are now moving away from the conventional way of doing things. So find the line. Data acquisitions, we use softwares. Software engineers, there is this university in Russia that trains students on building petroleum engineering softwares. There are places you can apply this knowledge. So leverage on that, and the sky will be your limit.
Mr. John, I know you got the, I think you were cut short, but were you able to get anything from him?
I only got the last part of what he said, that there are universities that still train people how to build softwares, that we can actually leverage on these things also. The mention of investing in Russia that train people how to build software,
so
petroleum engineering. So he said we could leverage on this also.
Because
so, let me mention again. Maybe for example, now,
okay.
You didn't hear me. I was trying to say you're a software engineer. That's beautiful. Find the thin line between software engineering and oil and gas industry. There is something that brings them in common: data. There is something you can do, because we have moved out from the conventional way of doing things. We now moved into machine learning, data analysis, artificial intelligence. In marine engineering, that's what we call marine robotics. These are where we use these knowledges we get from technology. So there is place for you. So just leverage on this, and you'll be able to get the PTDF funding.
Great, I get that clearly.
Okay, great. So do you have any other questions for him?
So for now, that's my questions.
That's covered. Great. All right. So I think we very much touched everything that needs to be touched on. So from application process to preparation, and then to the interview process. So just be informed on time. Try to adjust yourself. Look at other opportunities apart from English-speaking countries, right? From what he has said. And of course, if you do need help with your SOP review or SOP writing, you can always reach out to FastTire, right? So I'll leave Chuka to say his final words. Chuka, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
So I'll leave you to say your final words of encouragement. I don't know how you want to go about it. It could be a motivation. It could be a summary of everything you've said today, so that it still refreshes their brain. So your final message to everyone.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Richard, for this opportunity. I would just like to say that one thing we should learn is to be persistent. When I lost it the first time, I was heartbroken. I wanted to study in Imperial College, London, and didn't work out that way. So we should just be persistent. Try to know your mistakes. You failed. Don't be afraid of failing. You failed. Try to identify the intricacies that made you fail and work on it. The applications for scholarships are tedious. So you should prepare your mind for that and prepare your mind to impact your world. Give yourself into it, give yourself to study, and give yourself to improving yourself. Thank you.
Okay, so you heard it, guys. You might apply, you might fail the first time, go again with fresh knowledge, with fresh understanding. So I think the another challenge is the fact that when most of us apply, we want to get it that first time. So guys, it could be your first time, it could be your second, it could be your third. If you have the opportunity to go three times, and with each application you're putting forward, you're learning something different, you're doing something better, right? So, and also set goals for yourself. I have a boss that is in the engineering sector. One of his career plans or career development goals is that he ensures that for every year he gets 2 certifications. Like there's no how he's busy. If his wife gives birth, if he was offshore all through the year, there's no how a year passes that he does not get certifications in 2 areas, right? This is not him going to school. This is just him improving himself, and all those things help. Get publications. It might not be as difficult as we think. Like I've said, I might be inspired to really get someone or get people on board to teach us on how to go about our publications. I'll drop the link to reputable sites where you can publish your journals and all, right? So be persistent, know the processes, just get your stuff ready. Nobody's disadvantaged. Look at other options once again that are not English speaking countries. And then I think every other thing would work fine as you go along. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for joining for this class on how to get PTDF scholarship. Thank you so much, Mr. John, for being here with us. Thank you, Chuka, for making out the time to share your knowledge with us.
Thank you, sir.
I really appreciate. And I look forward to seeing everybody win. Thank you so much, and do have a lovely day.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.